So I've got it in the all-wheel drive mode. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's I'm going to be reviewing the all-new Chevy Traverse Premier. First and foremost though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Chevy here in Murray, Utah for giving me some time with this Traverse. I'm going to include a link to their inventory in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. If you have any questions or need any help whatsoever, just ask to work with Nick and Gage. And then on a side note, if you want to save time, money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have the naturally aspirated 3.6 liter V6 goes through a 9-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy 17 around town and then 25 on the highway with power outputs being 310 horsepower and then 266 pound-feet of torque. Now before we go over the front end, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. When it comes to the hood of the Traverse, it's pretty simplistic. We do have like a soft line in the center, and then you guys can see it kind of falls off on either side. Down below we have this distinctive daytime running light, and yes, this does have a split light design, so we have another daytime running light there with the headlight itself. Chrome front grille here with the signature Chevy bow tie. There is a camera there at the bottom of the bow tie. And then altogether, the new Traverse definitely has a distinctive modern appearance. Around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 255, 55, 20 in the front and over in the rear. And then when it comes to the design on the wheels, pretty simplistic. Got the silver on the top, and then you got some metallic gray below that to kind of just fill out the wheel. The new Traverse definitely kind of has like a boxy design to it. Notice we've got some chrome accenting there at the bottom around the windows, and then we have body painted fender flares, and so altogether it definitely gives it a more upscale appearance. Here's our key fob for the Traverse. You got the Chevy bow tie there on the back. We have our unlock lock function remote start, and then the opening here for the hatch. Storage space behind the third row is actually pretty solid here in the Traverse, but when you have the third row folded down like there on that side, helps out quite a bit. And then getting the third row back up is as simple as just pulling the strap up and then lifting up the headrest. And then underneath the loading floor here in the rear, there's even more storage. When you're all done, just press that button right there and that'll lower the hatch right back down. Taillights here in the Traverse are pretty distinctive, as you guys can see there with what the turn signal looks like. Notice it kind of follows right into the Chevy bow tie, and then we have pretty normal badging here on the back. We've got parking sensors here at the bottom, and then look at the exhaust tip covers. They're pretty rectangular, which is interesting. Altogether, the new design with the Traverse is pretty stylish looking and, again, pretty boxy. With this Premier package, you do get some nice padding here on the door panel for the rear passengers with some contrasted stitching, tons of little storage space areas, and then window control. Seats are pretty snazzy looking with all of this piping, and then it's perforated there in the center, and then there's more contrasted stitching, and then this is the latch that you pull to throw it forward. We do have our own climate zone here in the rear with heated seats, and we've got some charging ports. Cool armrests right here, and then we do have storage pockets there, well, on the backs of the seats. Legroom for the second row is pretty good. Headroom's also pretty solid. Legroom to the third row is definitely cramped. Headroom, however, is surprisingly good. Some last touches, we've got some storage space here for the rear passengers, USB ports, and then there are vents on the ceiling. The front door panel has that same padding as what you have in the rear. All of our window controls, notice the front one is automatic. The mirrors do power fold in. You've got your adjustments. Memory seats. This trim is definitely unique. There's a quick look at the mirrors. You've got blind spot monitoring, and then you have this to set the height for the hatch. The front seats have the same design as the rear with the piping, contrast stitching, and then perforations in the center. And then it is also power adjustable. Itty bitty hood latch release down below. Steering wheel is power adjustable, and then we also have our light controls. Nice padding all around the steering wheel with dark stitching to match. Radio controls on the back of the steering wheel with our controls for the center stack. Voice command controls, heated steering wheel button, and then we do have our cruise control as well. Turn signal stock, windshield wiper stock. Center gauge cluster is half analog, half screen action, and then we've got this sidebar here so we can scroll through different bits of info that you can also find in the infotainment system, which is pretty neat, or like the tab we're on right now, which is general vehicle information. We've got this 360 camera system, so here's the backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel. You also have that bird's eye view, and I can just go through all of these different menus and change the camera viewpoint here with the Traverse, so every single angle is covered with the camera system. When it comes to the infotainment screen, response time is fantastic. It comes with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. We've got a shortcut bar here at the bottom, some analog controls here, and we've got this fancy button that pops the screen up. Dual zone climate controls with our ventilated and heated seats. And then you can see we've got some USBs here and then a wireless phone charging pad. Got some cup holders here on the side, shifter for that 9-speed automatic transmission. It does have the L for like a low range. Parking brake here. We've got our auto stop, start, lane departure, and then our drive mode select. Drive modes will pop up here. We have our 4-wheel drive mode, or all-wheel drive mode rather. We also have an off-road mode, and then we have a trailer tow mode. Center console here has nice perforations, and storage space is pretty solid. You got this bin that you can pull out so you can see all the way to the bottom. It's an endless pit pretty much. And then we do have our glove box here, and then look at the nice padding up above. We've got this super fancy camera mirror, and then we've got a bunch of controls here for both sunroofs. This one, you can just pop up with the sunshade there, and then we do have that rear sunroof as well, but like I said, controls right there. Here's a window sticker for this Traverse. We have a 3-year 36,000 mile basic warranty, and then a 5-year 60,000 mile on the powertrain. Base MSRP $49,500. After all options on this one, $52,370. Let's see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood, both of the mirrors, throughout the rest of the rear, and let's set off. Setting off in the Traverse, and I actually just drove a Blazer right before this that has the 2.0 turbo, so I do want to make a bunch of comparisons between this and the 2.0 turbo, at least here at higher elevation, roughly at about like 4,000, 4,200 feet elevation. And first off, the 9-speed in both of them, it's pretty solid. It's seamless with the gear shifts, and it's pretty quick going from gear to gear. So yeah, I think overall I definitely like it. And then aside from that, ride comfort's really good. This might be a little bit more comfortable compared to the Blazer. A little bit larger vehicle, so that makes sense when it comes to ride quality, but both of them are actually pretty solid when it comes to ride quality. Some other stuff, seat comfort's actually pretty good. Now these seats are a little bit on the firmer side of things, but what I found with Chevy seats is if you just sit with them and or I can't talk apparently, if you just sit in these seats with good posture, then they're comfortable. Okay, so I've got it in the all-wheel drive mode. Huh. I mean, I like this V6, but I like the 2.0 turbo more. That torque is so addictive, and it just, I don't know, it feels a little bit snappier, a little bit punchier, whereas this, I don't know, it just doesn't seem to punch as hard, even though it has more power, which is strange. I know this is a more premium powertrain, but yeah, I guess I'm a 2.0 turbo fan. That's just me. So, summing things up here with the Traverse. First off, when it comes to ride quality, I think it's great. Exterior styling on this new Traverse, I really like it. I think this is a great looking crossover. Interior, again, that's another thing that Chevy's improved quite a bit. Now, the last thing they do need to fix is this here at the top of the dash. I know that's not something that people are going to touch, but like, I think they could do a little bit, just make it look a little bit more premium. That would go a long way. I mean, Jeep's done like stitching on their dash now, and I think that's helped out with making, you know, their Grand Cherokee more premium feeling. And then when it comes to driving, it drives really well. I have no complaints with that. It's surprising though that I like that 2.0 turbo so much, especially when like I said, the V6 is a little bit more premium of a powertrain. So yeah, if you're looking for just, you know, a solid 3-row crossover, this doesn't necessarily do anything like over the top special amazingly well, but it does everything like as it should, if that makes sense. So yeah, and it looks great while doing it. So there you go. That's gonna sum things up with our video on this Traverse. Again, a huge shout out, thanks to the Larry Miller Chevy here in Murray, Utah, for giving me some time with this Traverse. Check out the inventory in the description down below. Ask to work with Nick, engage if you need any help. I'll see ya.